सिधाले सङ्घमित्रहरूमा मेरो बन्धन। कहिलेकाहीँ प्रेमले स्नेहले पनि मान्छेहरूले सत्यभन्दा अलिक फरक कुराहरू पनि बोल्दा रहेछन्। अहिले भर्खर अरूजीले उहाँले बोल्दाखेरि हरेक शब्दहरू उहाँले बोलिराख्दाखेरि चाहिँ नि मलाई कालुको भइरहेको थियो। बढी नै बोल्नुभयो, त्यसको लागि पनि तपाईँलाई धन्यवाद। यहाँहरू सबैजना यसरी बसिराख्नु भएको बेलामा म कुर्सीमा, त्यो पनि रिम्पोचेहरू सँगैको कुर्सीमा यसरी बस्न लायक मान्छे होइन। तर मेरो यो हिप जोइन्टमा अलिकति पेन भएको कारणले गर्दाखेरि पनि आज म यहाँ बसिराखेको छु। तपाईँहरूले क्षमा गर्नुहोला भन्ने आशा गरेको छु। Is it okay if I speak in Nepali or you need? Shall I translate it into English?
That's okay, yeah.
Yeah, but I have said nothing. Whatever I have said, it's nothing that significant. So whenever I think that this should be translated into English, I try to do that. Maybe I cannot speak English. Whatever I speak is Nepanglish. Hope you understand that. So maybe through all of your eyes, I look a little old. If not the oldest person in the room, maybe one of the oldest one. Sometimes old is also translated into somebody very much experienced, but there is a disclaimer that I am probably one of the youngest novice in this room as far as the Dharma, knowledge of the Dharma, and my journey in this marga is concerned. बोल्दा बोल्दै अङ्ग्रेजीमा बोलिहालेँ, नेपालीमा त बोल्नु परेन है अहिलेलाई। म साँच्चै नै मेरो अनुभव एउटा साधकका हिसाबले, एउटा उपासकका हिसाबले, धर्मको मार्गमा हिँडिराखेको मान्छेको हिसाबले म एकदमै नवप्रवेशी हो, एकदमै कान्छो। अहिले म 70 वर्षको भएँ। 40 वर्षको उमेरसम्मको निम्ति तपाईँहरूलाई मैले मेरो अलिकति कथा एकदमै थोरै मात्रै म सुनाउँछु। लाज मान्नुहोस्, it's a bit embarrassing, but I have to tell you my story. Now I am 70. It's only at the age of 40 that I started recognizing some of my stupidities and my ignorance. म एउटा सर्जनको रूपमा ट्रेन भएँ। सर्जनहरूले काट्छन्, धारिलो चक्कुले काट्छन्। म जसलाई देख्यो, जसलाई सुन्यो, त्यसलाई चाहिँ म काट्न खोज्थेँ। र कुनै कुनै बेलामा सम्भवतः मान्छेलाई बेसरी दुख्ने नै गरेर पनि म काट्थेँ। कसैले केही कुरा बोल्यो भनेदेखि जुन कुरा मलाई चित्त बुझ्दैन, म तुरुन्तै भन्थेँ, no, you are wrong. I had that arrogance of somebody who is a surgeon, who cuts through the skin, flesh and bones. Now I am realizing how arrogant I was. केही घटनाहरू घटे र त्यस पछाडि म झसङ्ग भएँ। ओहो, यो दुनियाँमा बुझ्नै नसक्ने त धेरै धेरै कुराहरू रहेछ। के पो बुझेको रहेछ? अनि त्यो बेलामा मलाई अचानक चाहिँ सम्झना भयो, जतिखेर मैले आफूलाई मैले नबुझेको त धेरै कुरा रहेछन् भनेर मैले रियलाइज गरेको त्यही मोमेन्टमा पनि probably thousands of new scientific articles were being published at that very moment. What does that mean? त्यसको अर्थ एकछिनमै हजारौं आर्टिकलहरू चाहिँ यो दुनियाँमा चाहिँ छापिराखेका छन् साइन्टिफिक आर्टिकल भनेर भनेदेखि त्यसको अर्थ हुन्छ we human beings have yet to understand a lot. हामी सत्यबाट सत्यलाई चाहिँ नि मैले टिपेँ हैन as a truth. It's a fruit over there and I have already grabbed it and put it in my pocket. त्यतिखेर मलाई लाग्यो कि no, it's not like that. मैले बुझ्नु धेरै धेरै कुरा बाँकी रहेछ. There were some dramatic moments, but I am not going to tell you about all those stories. I only tell you that only one thing. I operated on very, very similar cases, 2 cases. Same age, same sex, similar conditions. I have treated, I think, exactly in the same way. One gets well very smoothly and another person has complications. I don't know what it is. Maybe now AI or empowered with supercomputers or quantum computers may have some answer to that, but I didn't understand. And I believe that even the AI, with the help of quantum computers, will still lack something. So that was my starting point. I started waking up. I need to understand more. अनि त्यस पछाडि मेरो म भित्रको त्यो सर्जन अलिअलि खोकुलो खोकुलो हुन थाल्यो. मैले पढेको साइन्स खोक्रो खोक्रो देखिन थाल्यो. मेरो arrogance, I need some objective evidence. अथवा चाहिँ म चाहिँ I thought I am a rationalist. मेरो rationalism, मेरो objectivism सबै नै अलिअलि खोकुलो खोकुलो हुन थाल्यो. I know, or I pretend to know, is not the only truth. It was much later that I was taught by wonderful gurus that there is absolute truth and there is relative truth. Paramartha Satya ra Samriddhi Satya. So that's how I started my journey. But that arrogance, that ignorance, that stupidity is not my only stupidity. Even after I started practicing, there have been moments when, I was very much embarrassed later. त्यस पछाडि 40 वर्षको उमेरमा पुगिसकेपछि केही समय पछाडि हो सत्य त अरु पनि हुन्छ के अरे मैले अगाडि देखेको मात्रै सत्य होइन हैन दायाँ बायाँ पछाडि माथि तल पनि हेर्न जान्नु पर्दो रहेछ भन्ने कुरा थाहा पाएपछि जे पायो त्यो पढ्न थाले. उपनिषदहरू, ओशोका प्रवचनहरूको संग्रहहरू, गीता, बाइबल, इभन कुरान मैले चाहिँ राखेर मैले पढ्ने प्रयत्न गरेँ. And somehow हाम्रो गुरुहरू आफ्नो जस्ता सामान्य भाषामा हामी चाहिँ आफ्नो धर्मपत्नी वाइफ भनेर भन्ने गर्छौं. गुरुहरूले प्रज्ञा भनेर भन्नुहुन्छ. मेरो पनि एउटा प्रज्ञा छ र त्यो मेरो प्रज्ञा मेरो जीवन साथी उनी उसमा गएपछि विपश्यनामा गएपछि उनकै पछि लागेर म पनि गएँ. त्यसपछि सम्भवतः मेरो बुद्धका बारेमा कथा कुथुरीहरू त हामीले धेरै चाहिँ सुनेका छौं. तर चाहिँ मार्गमै प्रवेश गर्ने काम चाहिँ सम्भवतः त्यति बेला चाहिँ भयो होला. I was just telling, if you didn't understand that, my wife led me to the Vipassana center in Kathmandu. I went there, and maybe that was my formal first steps in this journey. अब कथालाई अझ चाहिँ छोटो पार्दाखेरि धेरै पछाडि विभिन्न कारणहरूले गर्दाखेरि हामी भन्छौँ जे घटना घट्छ त्यो प्राय चाहिँ निश्चित प्रत्ययहरू र निश्चित कारणहरू हेतुका त्यो दुईटाको मिलनले चाहिँ घटना घट्छ. There are conditions and causes for all events. And there were innumerable conditions, प्रत्ययहरू, र त्यसमा सम्भवतः सत्यलाई जान्ने मेरो त्यो चाहना चाहिँ हेतु बन्यो होला. त्यसले that led me to this gurus, Rinpoches. First I came in touch with Choknyi Rinpoche and later Mengyur Rinpoche. I'm getting teachings from both of them, formal, informal, but I have taken refuge with Mengyur Rinpoche. Taking refuge for a person like me, that arrogant surgeon, who thought that he knows some science, who thought he's a rationalist, who thought he only believes in objective evidences. For a person like that, taking refuge, prostrating in front of anybody, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. I had to cut through that ego which stopped me, or which stopped the light coming to me. At the moment of refuse, I thought that that was a big, very big victory over my ego. And that was my stupidity. It's not that easy to overcome one's ego. I took the refuse, and Mengyur Rinpoche was very, very quick to tell me that you are not taking refuge in me, and I am not your real guru. I am a friend who will hold your hand and take you to your real guru. Even Buddha is not your real guru. He is also a wonderful friend, Kalyan Mitra, who will help you to reach your guru, which is within yourself, the real guru. That was very moving for me. My ego, that stubbornness, that arrogance just melted. He was empowering a very, very weak person who thought he knows everything, was so much unwilling to bow to anybody, even to the truth maybe. That was just, that melted, shattered. I felt so light, so comfortable. But that was not the end. Then Rinpoche asked me, his first homework for me was to meditate on myself, my ego, my I-ness. He asked me to meditate on I. I meditated, or I thought I meditated for a few days. maybe a few weeks, and I went back to him and told him about my experience. I told him that I did meditate for a few weeks, and I found that my ego always comes riding the horse of kleshas, of destructive emotions. When I am meditating, if there is no klesh, there is no ego, there is no I. And if I see my I-ness, my ego, myself, then there is always this or that destructive emotions, some sort of klesha. Rinpoche just smiled. Said, continue meditating on I. Try to find the subtler forms of I. अनि अलिअलि जिल्ल पनि परे ए मैले त के न पत्ता लगाएँ हौ क्लेशको घोडा चढेर आउँदो रहेछ रिम्पोछे यो चाहिँ नि त म भाव भन्ने कुरा त बडा कवितात्मक शैलीमा मैले बोले जस्तो लाग्यो हैन रिम्पोछे भन्नुहुन्छ जाऊ फेरि मेडिटेट गर यसको अझ सूक्ष्म म कहाँ छ जाऊ खोज ए भने कपाल कल्याउँदै अनि फेरि फर्केर गएर मेडिटेट गर्न थाले Then I started seeing, there are so many different layers of ego, so many. Maybe 84,000, I don't know, or 83,999. त्यस पछाडि अनि मैले अनुभव गर्न थालेँ कि ओहो यो इगोलाई जित्ने भनेर भनेको त असाध्यै लामो यात्रा पो रहेछ कहाँ यति सजिलो रहेछ त्यसले गर्दाखेरि अलिकति रिल्याक्स पनि भयो लामो यात्रा रहेछ हिँड्दै गरौँला भन्ने पनि भयो तर अर्कोतिर आफ्नो उमेरलाई हेर्दाखेरि ओहो अब त धेरै समय छैन भनेर अलिकति हातुरी लाग्न थाल्यो यो मेरो इगोसँगको लडाइँ भयो अर्कोमा प्रवेश गर्नुभन्दा अगाडि अलिकति गफगाफ गर्ने हो भनेदेखि गरौँ के प्रश्नहरू छन् अथवा मलाई चाहिँ बुढा तिमी त कति मूर्ख रहेछौ भनेर भन्नु छ भने भन्नुहोस् वाटेभर छ के भन्नु You are asking my biggest ego that I still have to conquer?
Still, or you have already conquered? I don't know. Ego, biggest ego.
All the forms of ego, when I see them, they are equally big, equally big. It's just that they continue. How do you call them? के भन्छ त्यसलाई यो फर्म शिफ्टर के भन्छ अरे एउटा shape shifter. It's a very ego is a very talented shape shifter. It always keeps on changing its shape and form. And sometimes it can be so subtle that you don't recognize it. Sometimes even when you are saying that, my guru, that sounds nice. It's a respect towards the guru. But even that, the shape shifter can turn it into a very nasty ego. So no ego is a less important enemy. It's always a form of Mara.
लागि कुनै इन्सिडेन्ट अथवा स्टोरी लाइफमा आफ्नो छ कि अथवा गर्दा गर्दै आफै कसरी क्लिक गर्नु
मैले अझैले बुझिनँ राम्रोसँग।
जस्तै यो सेफ सिफ्ट भन्नु नि
ए होइन, मैले चाहिँ इगोलाई भनेको अहङ्कारलाई, अहङ्कार त्यो त यस्तो बहुरूपिया हो जसले विभिन्न रूपहरू लिन्छ र कुनै कुनै बेलामा त्यो यति सूक्ष्म हुन्छ कि तपाईँले यो पनि मेरो अहङ्कार हो भने चिन्न नै गाह्रो हुन्छ। जति बेला हामी चाहिँ मेरा गुरु भनिराखेका हुन्छौँ, सुन्दा त राम्रो लाग्छ, यो त गुरुप्रतिको आदर भाव हो, समर्पण हो, होइन भन्ने लागिराखेका हुनसक्छ। तर त्यही समर्पणभित्र पनि त्यो मेरो सँगसँगै उसले जुन आउँछ नि, त्यसैमा पनि त्यसले चाहिँ अहङ्कारले त्यही पनि प्ले गरिराखेका हुनसक्छ। त्यो अर्थमा मैले भनेको अहङ्कार भनेको अत्यन्त खतरनाक बहुरूपिया हो।
इम्प्रेसन चाहिँ के भयो भने 40 पछि चाहिँ यस्तो हुन्छ कि जस्तो बाहिर त्यसरी बुझियो। तर कुनै त्यस्तो इन्सिडेन्ट 40 नै भन्ने त छैन।
मेरो लागि 40 हो, रेम्पोसेको लागि 3 वर्ष होइन। उहाँले त सानो बच्चै हुँदाखेरि थाहा पाउनु भयो। सम्भवतः तपाईँको लागि 17-18 वर्ष होला होइन। मैले त अघि भने नि, म त एकदमै स्लो वाकर हो क्या, एकदमै ढिलो मात्रै मैले बुझ्नु थालेँ। त्यसैले मलाई लाग्छ 40 भनेको कुनै म्याजिकल नम्बर हो जस्तो मलाई लाग्दैन। कसैलाई छिटो होला, कसैलाई ढिलो होला। तर मलाई त त्यो बेलादेखि खुल्दुली मात्रै लाग्न थालेको। जब म केही कुरा बुझ्न छोडेँ, जतिखेर मैले पढेका कुराहरू काम लाग्न छोडेँ, अनि त्यसपछि सत्यको खोजी त अन्यत्र पनि गर्नुपर्छ कि छामछाम सुमसुम गर्नुपर्छ कि भन्ने त्यसपछि मात्रै मलाई लाग्न थाल्यो।
म एउटा क्वेसन सोधेँ। हजुरले भन्नुभयो नि, हजुरले उपनिषद पढ्नुभयो, ओशोको लेखाइहरू पढ्नुभयो होइन। अनि बौद्ध मार्ग नै हजुरलाई के कुराले चाहिँ त्यसमा कनेक्ट हुनुभयो विपश्यना पछि चाहिँ?
ठिक छ, के धेरै नजिक भयो माथिको। मार्गहरूलाई म पहिले विभिन्न खालको, चाहे कुनै विचारधारा होस्, कुनै सिद्धान्त होस्, कुनै धार्मिक पथ होस्, ती सबैलाई म के भन्ने गर्थेँ भने यी सबै झ्यालहरू हुन् जसबाट सत्य देखिन्छ। कुनै पनि झ्याल छ, झ्यालको तपाईँ जति जति नजिक जानुहुन्छ बाहिरको दृश्य उति फराकिलो हुन्छ नि होइन। तर अति उत्साही भएर त्यो झ्यालबाट पनि बाहिर निस्किनु भयो भने के हुन्छ? लडिन्छ। लडिहाल्नु भएन पनि त्यो झ्यालमा भएको फोहोर पनि लाग्न सक्छ। So I think I should translate it to English. This is very important topic. He was asking me, why did you finally choose the Buddhist path? Because I told earlier that I had also studied other religious books or spiritual texts. I'm telling that for me, all the ideologies, religions, philosophies, theories, they were like windows. If you want to see a larger view outside the window, you have to go closer to the window. If you go too close to the window, too close, maybe sometimes your surtees, it catches the dirt on the window frames. Or if you are too enthusiastic, maybe you will fall down. When looking through the other windows, I felt that, oh, these windows are dangerous. And with almost similar ideas, I entered the Buddhist path. And now I am amazed to find that, however I try to get closer to the window to get a full picture that can be visible through that window, I'm not getting too close to it. I'm not getting close enough to the window yet. So that's it. Will I ever touch that window? I don't know. It's my journey. And in this journey, I have started finding that, reaching a goal is not as important as the journey itself, provided you are moving and provided you have that correct direction, right direction. So when the Buddhists are talking about samyak drishti, samyak sankalpa, that's not a joke. That's it. I have already told you that I am a novice. I have just started my journey at a very old age. And I am still in that journey.
What is your view about ego? Good or bad or just ego?
Good
Or bad or just ego?
bad, or
Just ego?
good or bad about what?
About your view about your ego.
Well, I am just learning to see my ego without tagging it with good or bad. I see it. The moment I tag my ego, it becomes stronger. It's bad. I have to, I have to be free from my ego. If that, very strong feeling comes, there is some element of aversion there. I was telling you that ego sometimes comes in a very, very subtle form. Very subtle form. I am such a good man, such a good practitioner, and I'm still having this ego. No, it's not good for me. I'm a good man. I had to get rid of it. Just comes like that. I have seen some people in the Vipassana center, Goenka Vipassana center, who say that, oh, I have been here for 32 times. This is my 33rd time. And when you talk to them, it seems, are they serious about their practice, or they are taking Vipassana just as a sport? Sitting there, still, without moving, for hours, and then finally standing up and, oh, I did it, Is it sports or real practice? And that is still nourishing the same ego, just like mine. I am just learning to see the ego without tagging it. After him. No. They were. अहिले चाहिँ कहाँ हुनु अहिले इगोलेस भयो भनेदेखि त गजब भइहाल्थ्यो नि इगोको धरतीलाई छोड्नको लागि भर्खर चाहिँ नि दुईटा पखेटा हुँदा रहेछन् भनेर भर्खर थाहा पाइराखेको छु मैले अनि मैले प्र्याक्टिकल्ली नै भनेको एकदमै सरलीकृत गरेर नडराइकन, केटाकेटीहरू कहिले काहीँ डराउँदैनन् होइन, बच्चाहरू त्यस्तै गरेर नडराइकन भन्ने हो भन्दाखेरि पहिले जति घना थियो इगो, अहङ्कार जति घना थियो, जति साह्रो थियो, बल्ल अलि खुकुलो भएको हो कि त्यति मात्र मलाई थाहा भइरहेछ। ए होइन, मैले दुईवटा पखेटाबाट भनेको एउटा प्रज्ञाको र अर्को करुणा र मैत्रीको। गुरुहरू भन्नुहुन्छ स्वतन्त्र हुनको लागि, मुक्त हुनको लागि, निर्वाण प्राप्त गर्नको लागि यी दुईटा पखेटाहरू सँगसँगै चलाउन सक्यो भने मात्र यो संसारबाट, यो समृद्धि सत्यको यो क्षेत्रबाट, यो डोमेनबाट उठ्न सकिन्छ। र त्यति मात्रै म अहिले भर्खर बुझ्न थालिरहेको छु, यस्तो हुँदो रहेछ भन्ने। मैले धेरै बुझेको छैन, जति मैले बुझेको छु मार फेरि पनि बहुरूपिया हो, अनेक रूपमा त्यो आउँछ। कुनै बेलामा त्यो अहङ्कारको रूपमा देखा पर्छ हैन। र अहङ्कार भनेर भनेको आखिरमा के हो? राग नहुने हो भने अहङ्कार हुन्छ र? हुँदैन नि। त्यो त त्यसैको फाउन्डेसनमा उठेको हुन्छ अहङ्कार। त्यो हुँदाखेरि यिनीहरू मारका यी सबै रूपहरू आपसमा जोडिएका हुँदा रहेछन्। कहिले तीहरू चाहिँ विभिन्न रूप लिन्छन्, कहिले एक हुन्छन् हैन। त्यसैले ती सबै नै अन्य न्याश्रित र चाहिँ इन्टर रिलेटेड चाहिँ छन् भन्ने मलाई लाग्छ। Just a minute. Let me have some water first. Yes.
In your previous response, you said that one needs to watch their ego non-judgmentally, because tagging them good or bad makes it even stronger, makes the ego stronger. So my first question is, can ego be loved? And my second question is, if it can be loved, then what is the procedure? And my third question is, what changes happen if ego is loved? Will it get stronger or will it make...
What's the last question?
If ego is loved, what changes happen? Will the ego get stronger or it will just dissolve?
If I understand your question properly, maybe I would like to restructure your question. It's not loving the ego. It's being gentle to the ego. It's being kind to the ego. You know, when you start seeing it, the moment you start seeing it, it starts already getting a little weak. As you continue seeing it, it becomes weaker and weaker. But if you start tagging it, then again it will gain its energy, strength. So, loving the ego probably is not the right word, but you have to be very gentle, kind to the ego, to your emotion. Okay, I see you. You are my ego. I understand it. It's fine. I am in this samsara, which is a domain of relative truth. And in this domain of relative truth, appearance of ego, existence of ego is just normal. It's fine. Okay, I see you. You have become gentle, right? The moment you become gentle to your ego, it doesn't know what to do. That will not start, whispering to your ears. Oh, that friend of yours, that's not a real friend. It is conspiring against you. It will stop saying that. So, when you are kind to that ego, it will start saying, okay, boss, I listen to you. I go away. Okay, I think we have talked a lot, haven't we? Shall we continue or? Oh yes, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Sorry. That is the lack of awareness, mindfulness. I'm sorry for that. Forgive me, please.
What technique did you use to start observing your ego when you started?
When Rinpoche asked me to meditate on our ego, I just sat there and I waited for the ego to appear. When it appeared in the beginning, I always found it coming along with one of the clashes, one of the destructive emotions. And when I told him this is what I found, when he asked me to look for subtler forms of ego, again I did the same. And then I started realizing that, there are innumerable forms that you can take. So no, I don't think, no magical technique at all.
Yeah.
I just stayed there. I was trying to be aware of it.
So could you please ask the last question? सरलाई सुनिराख्दाखेरि चाहिँ म आफै पनि यो मेडिटेसनको जर्नी डिफ्रेन्ट पाथबाट सुरु गरेको 15 वर्ष जस्तो भयो। एउटा स्कुलमा पनि एउटा राम्रो छात्र थिएँ, सबै प्रथम हुन्थ्यो अनि एक किसिमको इगो थियो, त्यो एउटा इगो थियो। One day I realized that ego is just a false image of myself. म जे होइन त्यही हो भनेर जुन कुरा सोचिरहेको छु त्यो नै सायद इगो हो जस्तो फिल भयो। मलाई सायद ज्ञानको इगो थियो, कसैलाई रूपको इगो होला, कसैलाई धनको इगो होला। From that day I realized that म त्यो होइन जो म सोचिरहेको छु। त्यसपछि एउटा यात्रा सुरु भएको थियो म को। त्यो यात्रा चाहिँ it was not very easy. I mean painful. Painful in the sense that म कहाँ जाने के गर्ने is such a difficult task. त्यो बेलामा घर परिवार पनि बाहुन परिवारमा जन्मेको भएर एउटा त्यो रिचुअल्सहरू थियो, मन्त्र साधना गर्थेँ केही समय, धेरै समय मन्त्र साधना गरेँ। त्यसपछि ओशोबाट बढी प्रभावित भएँ। त्यसपछि ओशोको जति पनि क्याम्पहरू हुन्थ्यो लगभग सबै जस्तो मान्थेँ। Then slowly, gradually, त्यो लेयरहरू बिस्तारै अलिकति हजुरले भने जस्तो कुकुलो भएको हो कि अथवा अझै पसिलो भएको हो, त्यो छुट्याउन पनि गाह्रो। अनि यो जर्नीमा हुँदा हुँदै एउटा रियलाइजेसन के भइरहेको छ भन्दाखेरि म यो प्रोसेसलाई इन्जोय गरिरहेको छु कि म गन्तव्य खोजिरहेको छु, म डेस्टिनेसनको लागि गइरहेको छु कि प्रोसेसमा चाहिँ रमाइरहेको छु। बिकज रिजल्ट मेरो हातमा छैन, प्रोसेस मेरो हातमा छ र प्रोसेस चाहिँ म डिफ्रेन्ट तरिकाको गरिरहेको छु। एउटा छुट्टै मार्ग छैन, मैले एउटा छुट्टै मार्ग लिएर हिँड्न जरुरी छ अथवा हजुरले अघि भने जस्तै हजुरले पनि सुरुवात गर्दा विभिन्न कुराहरू पढ्यो भन्नुभएको थियो, त्यही तरिकाबाट हेरिरहेको छु। द्याट यो सेन्टरमा आउन थाले इट इज नट मोर देन 2 months पनि भएको छैन होइन। तर अझ पनि मेडिटेसन के हो भन्ने कुरालाई डिफाइन गर्न यत्रो वर्षसम्म रेगुलर प्र्याक्टिस गरिरहेको छु, असफल छु। Would you enlighten us?
तपाईँको कुरा सुन्दाखेरि मेरो मनमा आउने पहिलो शब्द हो congratulations. You are seeing it. You are seeing it. Sometimes seeing the truth is painful. But that's something to celebrate. That's something to celebrate. I think, and I wish, I hope, I trust that you'll be able to cross this barrier very soon. That's the only thing I can tell you now. The second thing I want to tell you is that it seems everybody has their own way of walking, although the path may be same. But no two persons can be at the same place at the same time. Your gaze, your gesture, the force you exert on the earth, on the samsara, they are all different. And the only thing I can tell you is that in my experience, probably the journey itself, continuous movement with a direction in your mind. You might steer again, but at least at that moment, if you have got a clear direction and you are moving continuously, that's far more important than the distance. Most of the distances, finally, they are nothing more than reference points. Now we are moving towards east or west. We see a tree there. Which is the east? Then we say that the direction of that tree. When you have moved, you have gone beyond that tree. If you are still sticking to that tree, that's already on your west, right? So all the destination at certain point of time, they are reference point which may change. And the final destination for you is to be free, isn't it? And freedom, does freedom has any direction? Is that a point? Can freedom be confined into a point? It's just no opening up. So, I don't know much. This is a very profound question. But I feel that the journey itself, the movement itself, with clarity of direction at that very moment, that's much more important than being, attached to certain destination, which you have defined, I have defined, that's my destination. Maybe, as Mingyur Rinpoche often says, our path through our journey should finally lead us to the I beyond the I. He talks about this unhealthy I. All of us might have that, like mine. Healthy I, some of us might have achieved that. But our journey is going beyond that I don't know if I answered your question. That's how I feel. What are you going to do, boss?
So when you talked, shared your experiences and of evils about ego, and one curiosity arose in my mind. when you look back now, if you become nostalgic, do you think that there is a blessing in disguise, and sometimes obstacles can become an opportunity, and sometimes we don't see our own defilements and afflictions here. For an example, our eyelash is too close to us, but we often don't see it, right? So, does the ego manifest in different dimensions, different forms like anger, aggression, and does it harm in other interpersonal relationships? So ego is also an affliction, right? Ego is also a defilement. So that's one curiosity rather than question for me. And next is that you have witnessed the 7 decades of life, and you have gained immense experiences, and you have seen, you have tested the nature of life, and you have encountered you might have encountered various experiences till now. And if you have to encapsulate life's experiences in a single sentence for the youngsters or novice youngsters like us, how would you encapsulate life in a single sentence? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Your first question or curiosity, I don't think I have to say anything because you have answered your question yourself. That's very difficult. I don't think I'll be able to encapsulate all these things into a very small capsule. I don't think so. But since you have used the word youngsters, for my younger friends, the only thing I want to say is that try to be as awake as possible. Continue moving forward. Have faith in your inner light. That is Tathagata Garva, Sugata Garva. We may have so many defilements, but and this defilement, this cover of this defilement may be very, very thick. जतिसुकै बाक्लो होस् न, कतै न कतै छिद्र त हुन्छ. And if you really believe in that inner light, the rays of light is bound to come out from somewhere. Believe in that Tathagata Garva, in that huge potential every being possesses. With the lamp of this belief, continue moving forward. And we are so lucky that we have got such a, good Sangha meters everywhere. We have access to gurus like Chokren Rinpoche and Mingyur Rinpoche. And in our times, we can call upon our gurus so easily. Just continue your journey with that lamp in your hands. Please.
Last question, right? Yeah, last questions. Yeah, it was so profound questions we have asked to him. I just wanted to ask you about your professions. Like your professions itself was very altruistic towards the people, which is very useful. So do you think only your applications, like the negative thoughts or negative such kinds of ego or your broadness, was the main reason that turns into the spirituality or the dharma? And somehow I think it's one of the best professions in terms of our territory, like where you can help people at the same time you can be a prosperous person. So how do you, suggest to the your professional people or like the normal people?
This is a very, very important question. Thank you for asking this. Thank you for asking this. I will not hesitate to say that it was that ego itself that urged me to have a relatively early retirement. You are right. I have to explain that. After, getting in touch with wonderful friends, the Dharma friends and the Rinpoches, I thought that, now it's time for me to get free from this samsara. I forgot the fact that to take off from the ground, the plane needs the runway. Samsara is the runway. Unless you gain the speed on the runway, you cannot take off. I forgot that. And in a hurry, I stopped doing what I was doing. You are right that I was doing wonderful jobs. That gave me immense satisfaction. But just as that, maybe Arun can tell that story, the Milarepa's student's story, all of you know. One of his students who wanted to go and meditate immediately, leaving everything. Milarepa said that, wait, it's too early for you. He went and again, come back. So it's almost like that. I forgot the fact that you cannot lift yourself from the ground by grabbing your own hairs. Can you? We are in this samsara. How can we ignore that? This is samsara. This is samsara. This is the domain of the relative truth. We are not yet in the domain of the absolute truth. परमार्थ सत्यमा त पुगेको छैन. संसारमा बसेर चाहिँ आफ्नो टुप्पी समातेर आफूलाई उठाउन खोज्छु भनेर हुन्छ त्यो हुँदैन नि. So, therefore I was telling everybody that, I have just started realizing that we need these two wings. And we do have these two wings. And we also have the light inside us to show the path. And that's our own Tathagata Garva. And we have gurus to take us, to teach us that you have your light inside you. Did I answer your question? खस्यो नि, धेरैचोटि खस्यो. अहिले पनि खस्ने सम्भावना हुन्छ. हैन? त्यो कहिले त्यो दुःखबाट मुक्त होला भएर त यति मेहनत गर्नु परिरहेछ नि अहिले.
Wow. I'm sort of spellbound after hearing all these profound questions and such deep and insightful experience and answers by Dr. Dhital. I'm really spellbound with all the the profound, insightful discussion that took place today. And I thank you, Sir, from the bottom of my heart. And thank you all for actively taking part in your profound questions. I think, I must say my takeaway from this is the 84,000 egos. I don't know when I can, I can see and understand all those layers. But one thing that I learned that after I start looking at it with gentleness, starts the dissolving, starts opening up. I think so. There's hope. So that is my takeaway from this session.